Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and if you've been playing Destiny long enough, you probably have that one friend who just can't stay alive no matter what activity you guys are taking on. Maybe you play with randoms frequently who struggle to dish out enough damage. Maybe they also struggle to keep their health up, and ultimately they just need a quality support player to back them up and give them the boost they need to succeed. And this is the build for you if that is the case. So this is going to be a prismatic warlock healing build that is very effective at not only keeping your allies alive, keeping you alive, but also dishing out a fair bit of damage as well. And it all starts with a brand new exotic helmet called Speaker Sight. It has the armor perk, the Lost Voice, healing grenades, spawn a restorative turret, healing allies occasionally spawns an orb of power. It also really coincides well with the No Hesitation auto rifle, which is craftable this season and is the first healing auto rifle with the support frame, flexible and agile. Harming targets builds a restorative charge. Hip firing at allies while this weapon is charged heals them with rapid healing, increasing weapon damage, and bestowing restoration to your allies, which is already nice enough. When you add it to the brand new physic trait, rapidly healing allies grants you and your allies restoration. It just works out really well, so you're constantly healing them and also yourself. You pair that with incandescent and you're melting enemies as well, and then healing. It's just a great loop and allows for pretty infinite survivability. You combine this with another really good support option in the tractor cannon exotic shotgun. This one is fantastic, suppresses enemies, allows you to do additional damage, very effective. And then finally, I need my own DPS as well, so I'm going to use the scatter signal with controlled burst. You hit an enemy with the tractor cannon and use this thing, and they will be absolutely deleted. As far as the subclass itself, I am running Song of Flame. It is very fun, and it does pair well with the Devourer aspect, which is one of the main reasons it is effective if you want to keep that up. Also, you will see your super and transcendence a lot with this build, which is also very nice. You could actually swap to a empowering rift for this build if you want. I just wanted to keep up with the healing theme, so that's why I went with the healing rift. Then we've got the penumbral blast. This is going to freeze enemies. This comes in quite handy quite a bit because you can really stop enemies in the track, especially like anything from champions, wyverns, all that kind of good stuff. And then obviously the star of the show is a healing grenade. Pop this down and you're going to see turrets sending allies healing all the time. It is super effective and really something that I think a lot of people should be checking out. Then we've got Feed the Void for Devour all the time, and then Hellion. Now, the reason the Feed the Void works, even though I'm using a healing grenade and a stasis melee that doesn't really kill enemies, is that Transcendence, the Song of Flame, as well as the Hellion all count as ability kills for my Feed the Void. So I will use this Solar Mortar to get those kills. Now, I don't have all the fragments unlocked, so I did go with a pretty standard purpose, Protection, Dawn, and then Ruin, as well as Courage. But you can change these as you get additional ones unlocked as well. But for me, they worked out just fine. Now, as far as the mods go, I do have Special Ammo Finder. I want to make sure I have my Scatter Signal topped up at all times. We got Radiant Light, provide another bonus to my allies, bolstering detonation, fastball. Then we've got solar damage resist, or whatever damage resist you want in that slot. Then we've got the strained weapon surge, which is very nice. And then better already works out as well, but you can swap that out if you want to. Again, it's one that's not the end of the world if you want to have something different there. You also want to make sure, I forgot to mention, to have the void reserves to have as much of your tractor cannon as possible. Then finally, we've got distribution, Bomber, and then Powerful Attraction, which is very effective for the new seasonal activity. So all of that combines really well. The gameplay loop is fairly simple. When you get into combat, you want to probably pop down your rift first, do some damage with your No Hesitation, get some kills, spread some incandescent, start healing your allies. If a heavier enemy pops up, whether it's a champion, whether it's an orange bar, anything of that nature, hit them with the tractor cannon, scatter signal combo, and then go to town. And again, the way this build synergizes, makes it very, very easy to have your super quite a bit as well. You're generating a lot of orbs with your healing, so that way you can really pop your Song of Fire really frequently, which is a ton of fun. It's one of my favorite supers to use right now, and is one that I think is pretty underrated because of the Devour aspect. You can essentially tank a lot of enemies' damage by simply popping this, getting a kill right away, whether it's your melee or your bird, and then continuing the streak to continue to get more kills or focus down a boss or something like that as well. So overall, this is one of the most fun builds that I've used in quite some time, and this isn't even the final form in my opinion. I still have some new fragments to unlock. I still have some work to do on perfecting stats with this bad boy, but overall I do think it's one that can be very valuable, especially again if you're in endgame content. Say you're in the brand new Dual Destinies mission and you have an ally who is under-leveled and struggling to do what they need to do to stay alive. You're doing an activity like the new cooperative missions for the campaign, and those you only have a limited number of revives, so keeping yourself alive is very, very important. Same thing with the raid. Survivability is so very valuable. Having a build that allows you to not only survive, help your teammates survive, but also dish out enough damage to be really effective is one that I will always have a good time with. And I do think the gameplay loop is simple enough. I was getting my turret back constantly. It felt like I always had a turret out, healing my allies and myself as often as possible. So it's just really, really effective, and something that I think I'm very glad that they went this direction with the game, and I hope they do this more. I hope we see more pure tank options. I hope we see more pure support, maybe pure DPS options. We've seen that with the Still Hunt, Celestial Nighthawk, Hunter builds that we have right now, which are absolutely insane, and it does feel like they have gone into more MMO territory with some of these different options, and I am absolutely here for it. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of a support build or a healing build? Is this something that you could see yourself playing as a Destiny 2 player? Maybe you're a player who has struggled yourself at times, and this would be the type of build that will allow you to tackle more difficult content, because I do feel like at the end of the day, taking on new content in Destiny, whether it's a raid for the first time, Grandmasters, anything like that, is very, very rewarding, and having more options for that to be available to more players, and having more experienced players be able to guide the newer players instead of just carrying them, I think is very, very important and could be a ton of fun. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. My name is Jopa. Have a good one. Like the video, comment, subscribe if you want to see more Destiny 2 content, and I'll catch you all later.